Thanks so much for joining us. This is our MeWe Awakening panel on Divination for Discovery. Well, we have 8 practitioners here tonight that will be sharing about how we use divination and doing divination to answer your questions. So MeWe events happen throughout the Northwest when we're in person, and we've had lots of events online this year. We've been having events online for a couple of years, so many these days. Let me get some information about tonight's event. I will put in the chat for you so you can see all of what's going on. It's free to be here, free to learn from everything that is shared. And if you'd like to ask a question of the panel, it's $20 or $10 for BIPOC. Doing our part for racial injustice to end it. And we also have, the event is going to be sign language interpreted tonight. And so I need to get our interpreter here, but we will have someone that needs sign language and we will have it interpreted. So let me go find our interpreter and reach out. And I'll be back in just a moment. So thanks for your patience while we're getting this all going. All right, thanks so much, everyone. Yeah, just let's find Sharon and we will, and Thorne is on his way too. Now I'll put information about all the practitioners in the chat in just a moment. I'm just wanting to find everyone first. And Anya put her special in the chat. If anyone else has a special too, practitioners, I don't have them from everybody. So Amanda, Jenna, if you have one, yeah, go ahead and send it to me. Gio, I know you're here. If I could ask for your help for a moment. I don't know if you're able to listen.
Yes, I am here.
So I'm looking for Sharon's phone number. I haven't found Sharon's number. And Sharon isn't here and Thorne's not here. I know Thorne's on the way, but I don't
Okay.
see where we have Sharon's phone.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Thanks so much.
Hello, everybody.
Gio is one of my assistants who helps with all kinds of things. So this is one of those great things. I'm thrilled that she happens to be here at the moment. And Jenna, if you have if you have an actual what the price is, that would be great too, in addition to the % off.
It would depend what they get. I have lots of different.
Okay. Okay, great. Great answer. All right, great. Well, maybe we will get started and then we will go ahead and do some rounds again after everyone arrives. Oh, I got one more special to add in here, and then I'll go ahead and put it in the chat for all of you. All right, great. Let's see, I'll go ahead and put Galactic Ashley. I have an old special in here. I'm going to take it off.
Oh, I sent you one to your. I'll send it again if you want.
Is it up in here? I just didn't see it. Oh, I see it now.
It was a direct message.
Okay, great. I got it. Thank you. So I'm going to put the information on all the practitioners here in the chat so you can see who's going to be here. Thorn is not here yet. Thorn is on the way. And Thorn and Sharon are having great timing, so all that is working. Their timing is at least in sync. Great, and we're going to go through and introduce ourselves, and I'll put the basic information about tonight in here too. And then at some point while you're here tonight, if you're willing to share your feedback with us, there's a link for a feedback form, and you'll get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. Well, thanks for being here and sharing that. All right. Well, so as I mentioned, this is a MeWe Awakening panel, and our theme tonight is Divination for Discovery, and we're all going to be using physical forms of divination tonight. So we'll be here for 2.5 hours, and we'll be sharing about ourselves and our work, and practitioners, feel free to share about all that you do, and as well as making clear like what things you'll be using tonight, in particular for divination. And we're using physical divination tonight, and then yeah, and so probably we'll integrate it. So you'll be talking about yourself and your work integrated with divination, since that's our theme. We'll just do it all together tonight. All right. I think let's go through and probably I'll have all the practitioners go ahead and share, and you can take 3 minutes or so. That's great. And then we'll be getting to answering questions. All right. Who wants to go first tonight? 7 of us are here so far.
I always love to jump in. Hi, I'm Cindy McGonigal. I'm a psychic medium. I am thrilled to be on tonight's panel with all these other great intuitives and creative artists and star people and all of you that I'm going to meet tonight. I do a lot of different forms of divination. Tonight, I'm going to be working with numerology. So what I need from you will be your full name and your birth date. That's month, day and year. And then I'll be able to help you to understand a little bit more about who you can partner with, not only romantic partners, but probably business partners as well. I work as an animal intuitive here in Indio, California, which is just outside of Palm Springs. And I love to bring animals together with their future uh, families because I work in a no-kill shelter. And I always ask the animals, what would you like to have in a forever family? And I make a little notebook and then I share that with the staff. And I like to think of myself as an animal matchmaker. So I'm enjoying that here. I also communicate with plants. I have 3 books in print. I have a fairy recipe book that has love potions and all kinds of great stuff. It's on Amazon in the Kindle format, and you can download that. And again, I'm super grateful to know each one of you, and thank you for being here. I'm Cindy McGonigal, and you can find me on my website, and I also am on YouTube, and I'd love you all to be subscribers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. All right, and Sharon is here, and Sharon, Thorn is not here yet, but I know we did a little bit of our opening, so maybe if we could just do a little bit of our opening again, that would be great. And Cindy, you're going to get to share a second time around so great for you. Yeah, so Sharon, thank you so much for being here. Okay. So this is our MeWe Awakening panel on divination for discovery. There are 7 practitioners here at the moment. There will be 8 of us here tonight, all sharing about physical forms of divination. So we're going to go through and introduce ourselves, and then we'll be answering questions from the audience. It's free to be here, and it's $20 to ask a question of the panel. You'll probably hear answers from all of us. It's $10 if you're BIPOC, doing our part to end racial injustice and make reparations. All right, well, thank you. And Sharon is doing interpreting tonight. Thank you so much, Sharon. And our practitioner Thorn will be here shortly. All right, so thank you, Cindy. Let's just go around and we'll have everyone else and then we'll come back to you. And please remind me if I forget. Oh, and Thorn is coming right now. Great. Cool, we will all be here. I'll let Thorn get settled and then Thorn can share in a little bit. All right, practitioners, who would like to go next? Who wants to go? One of you gets, oh, Jenna can go. Sure, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jenna Lynn Roberts from Present Path Tarot. I'm a tarot reader. I also work with the I Ching cards, and I'm here tonight to talk divination, including how to share the art of divination with others. I believe everyone has the ability to tap into their intuition, and these are great tools to access your own wisdom with. I am offering readings tonight, as well as talks about how you can practice divination. I'm offering a class in January called The Art of Divination with tarot cards online on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And also tomorrow, Galactic Ashley and I from 2 to 4 are going to have a fun online divination session where we're going to be reading and she's going to be channeling and just talking more of this stuff. So I hope you'll join us, and we'll share a link in the comments there. She put the Eventbrite up already in the message. So looking forward to playing with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Jenna. All right. I love all the different things that we're all doing and the things we do together support each other. So much fun. All right.
I'll go ahead and go since it makes sense. So just like Jenna said, we have an event tomorrow, and I am Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing, transmissions, and encoded activations. And I am also an artist, and I'm working on several card decks. But the one that's wanting to come out first is photography based, actually, and it's been a 12-year sort of long project, and it wants to be a card deck right now, and it's called Anima Us, and it's a study of the human condition. And I consider it to be a manifestation of galactic me trying to grasp and understand the human individually and collectively. So I'm looking forward to using it tonight. So thank you all.
Thank you so much. All the great ways we get to grow together. All right. Who else would like to share now?
I'll share. I'm Kendara. I do tarot, intuitive counseling, and I Ching, which I adore. So I was really happy to find out that Jen is doing it also. It's the most incredible form of divination. You're becoming your own psychic. And I will be sharing that tonight. So glad to be here.
And go ahead if you want to share a little bit more about all the other things you do too.
Oh, okay. Well, I do tarot. I teach tarot. I love tarot. Someone asked me which I like better, I Ching or tarot. I said I love them both, but with the I Ching, you're totally just letting it go and letting the universe tell you. I also do belief shifting, help people find self-defeating beliefs and remove them. And I'm excited to be here. So looking forward to sharing. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Let's see who else wants to go. Let's see, Thorn and Amanda, Anya, and myself are left. Who wants to take a turn? Oh, okay. Anya's stepping in. All right.
I'll go ahead and introduce myself, and I'm going to go ahead and sign for myself to give the interpreter a little bit of a break, if that's okay with Thorn. Wait, I have to find you. Is that
Yeah.
okay? Don't
One
mind if I
left.
introduce myself? Okay. My name is Anya. My name sign is Anya. I was an interpreter for 32 years out on the field. So I can sign, but I can't interpret anymore. So my retirement plan is the healings, the readings, and also the teaching that I do that relates with witchcraft. So I'm here to talk about tonight the divination tool of the crystal ball, because that's one of my favorite things to do. I've used tarot and other different forms as well, but I really prefer the crystal ball. And honestly, there's not a lot of history that's been written down and saved for us so that we can learn from the past, but it seems to be a very intuitive thing for me. So I really enjoy teaching about it. So.
Great. And did you want to share, Anya, anything else about all the different work that you do?
I do Reiki work, and I also do energetic healings, chakra alignments and cleansings. I've learned a variety of healing practices from a variety of teachers in the Portland area, as well as some that are known throughout some of our practitioners, like Access Consciousness. So I work on an energetic level in the body to help facilitate healing. I don't actually do that healing. I facilitate your body getting rid of the old energetic stuck stuff that they can't process anymore, if that makes sense.
Yes, great. All right. Let's see. We've got Amanda and Cindy's going to go again, and me. Go ahead.
Anya, I loved hearing you speak when you were signing. It was so peaceful and relaxing. It was beautiful. Okay, who am I? Amanda Root at Snow Moon Tarot. I'm obsessed with divination tools. I love them so much. I do a lot of them. My favorites are probably runes and tarot. And lately I've been doing drawings around a rune wheel. So I'll fill all the runes in, and then I'll draw a picture around it, and then I'll read it. And a finished one kind of looks like this. I think tonight, though, I'm going to be using the astrology wheel, and I'm going to be tossing out some runes onto it and answering questions that way, just to shake things up a little bit. I am a Coyote intuitive. I am a rune caster, and I'm an artist, basically. And divination tools are really important to me because I feel like they kind of get a bad rap. And I feel like they're just very special in the way they help us connect with our environment, and the way they help us quiet our minds, and the way they help us just disconnect from 3D reality and enter other spaces so easily. So I always have them around in my pocket, anywhere, like they're everywhere. And then you can also read, sidewalk things you find or anything. But yeah, it's my favorite. And I think I have a special that's posted on the thing. So you can, yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you. I will post all the practitioners' information in the chat again also. All right, let's see. Thorn, do you want to go? So we're just introducing yourself for about 3 minutes. Yeah, and go ahead and talk about all your work if you want and the divination that you're using tonight.
I have to find Thorn.
I can spotlight Thorn if that's helpful.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Oh, there you are. Perfect. Hello, everyone. And so my name is Thorn. And this is my sign name. My name sign is a thorn. And so I refer to myself as they and he. And so I wanted to share a little bit about myself. I do tarot, I do runes, and I also do ancestry work. I work with the ancestors. And then I do energy healing and chakra work, and I teach. And so lots of different modalities that I do. So, and I also work with fairies and things like that, and around the world, and different magical animals. And so that's pretty much my practice in a nutshell. And so in 2021, I'm going to start doing presenting astrology topics. And tonight I'm going to be offering tarot readings. I have a few decks to choose from. And so if you want to, talk about that tonight. And so if you're curious about anything, you let me know. Most of the people I tend to work with are members of the LGBTQ community. And so really anybody, I work with. And so, yeah, and so, I mean, the general public, you can, I work with all different kinds of people with the things that I do. Yeah. So I'm excited to meet with you guys. And some people I know your faces and other people are new faces. And so, feel free to connect with me, or you can connect with me directly or through an interpreter. That's fine. So have a good night, and I'm excited to be involved.
Great, thank you so much. That's fun, hearing all the different things, learning all the different things that Thorn does. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've got a mistake in my notes I will go fix. All right, let's see. Cindy, how about let's have you go again now.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy McGonigal, and I have a website called cindymcgonigal.com. I have a YouTube channel that's Cindy McGonigal. And on my YouTube channel, I focus on earth energies and what's going on. And I have a new video that'll be up tomorrow. So I would encourage everybody to subscribe. It describes the energies of the 12/12 and what's coming up until the 19th. And as all of you know or have been feeling, I would say everybody's awareness is coming to the forefront. Like I said, I'm a psychic medium. I'm a palmist as well. I'm an author. I've written 3 or 4 books, and I work with the elemental kingdom. I work with dragons. I love to help you develop your own intuitive skills so that you can work with your higher self and connect with the other beings of the different realms. And tonight I'm going to be working with you with numerology. And with numerology, if you provide me with your name and birth date, I will help you to learn who you can work with on a business level and who you can partner with. And just for fun, tonight I drew some of the cards to see what the energy was going to be like for tonight. And one of the cards that came up for everyone tonight was synergy. So I want to encourage everybody who's listening and those who listen later that we have a fabulous panel here. All of the people are wonderful. They come from their hearts, and we're all here to support you. So play along with us, have some fun, and it is Friday night, for God's sake. And I also got the romantic love card. So love is in the air. Love you guys. Let's have fun tonight. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Also, there was a question for you in the chat. Maybe you get that question frequently. Wanted to give you a chance to speak to it if there's anything. Can you? You're muted.
No, I'm not related to that person, although my family does come from Massachusetts originally. And so I kept my maiden name, McGonigal. And so thank you for asking.
Great. And Thorne mentioned also that they have gift certificates, various types of readings, etc., available for purchase, especially during the holiday season. As we open up to the energies of 2021, sliding scale and fixed prices. Fairy dust and sparkles. And I will put that in the notes also so we can post that. All right, I think I'm next for sharing. Right, all practitioners, all the rest of you have shared already, right? Great. All right, I'm going to pin myself. Oh, I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader. I believe that we all read eyes all the time. And a way you can sense that is if you imagine when you've met someone with dark sunglasses and you can't see their eyes, you realize probably that so much is missing. It can be frustrating. And as soon as you see their eyes, there's so much that's there. I interpret what I see with a set of archetypes called Thrive types. These look at your natural talents, what motivates you, how you communicate, make decisions, how you protect yourself, and your growth lessons. I use this to help you better understand yourself, know your soul, your purpose, and make decisions to help you line up expression of your purpose. I love to use it for helping people tune their career path, discovering their purpose, implementing their purpose, helping companies hire people. I use it for matchmaking to help you find soulmates. Eyes are a window to the soul and the soulmates. And then also I use this to help people that are in relationships already, business relationships and romantic relationships, family relationships, raising kids, better understand the other people, see how to honor them, see how to have synergy in the relationship, and sometimes to go a different direction. And tonight, because it's Divination for Discovery, I'll not only be looking maybe at your eyes, but I'm going to be using some cards. I have a friend that recently designed Blueprint Essence cards. So these are the backs. And then these beautiful words that are backwards for me, but I think look right to you. So I don't know exactly what I'll do here. I might have you choose a number and then I'll pull a few cards. My partner and I have been doing that. We'll just each pull the same number of cards and it's been beautiful what we've pulled. And then I'll also use O cards. So these are cards that have been around for a long time. I think the 1970s. They're now in many languages, and there are some decks with different topics. There are 2 decks. I'll show you the stack of the decks. One set has words and one set has images. So I typically do 3 each. And when I do a reading with you, I'll have you say stop and pull them, but I think I'll just connect with you energetically and pull cards today and we'll see how that goes. So examples of words, just different words. And you see they're blank in the middle, and that's where the image cards go. So I love these as cards for helping people open to their intuition, because you don't have to know anything to read these cards. You already know what they are. So the idea is that you arrange the images inside the word cards. So I do 3 and 3. I have it where the order doesn't matter. And in a group, I would have the person that selects the question, the topic, do their own reading first, where they arrange the images and the word cards to share their own answer. And then if they're willing, they let the other people rearrange them and give readings also. So I'll be doing the readings tonight using the cards. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. And I have a board on which I will show you your reading. All right. So lots going on tonight. Let me unpin myself. There we go. So practitioners, sometimes when we all share, sometimes something else arises that we want to share. Does any practitioners, have you thought of anything else that you want to share in the intro today? Maybe you talk about divination in general. Does anyone want to share just a bit about divination, or anything you know about the history of the divination, or the history of the type that you use, or anything like that? Just kind of setting context. Just totally optional.
I'll go just a little bit. The I Ching is over 5,000 years old. It was downloaded by the first emperor in China. In 1926, it was brought to Germany by Richard Wilhelm, a German Christian missionary. There are 3 versions. There's a Taoist, a Chinese, and a Tibetan. And it's basically becoming your own psychic. You throw coins and you get a 6-line figure called a hexagram, and it's mind-blowing because you cannot make the coins fall a certain way. And the thing that's so incredible about it is this. A lot of times the one answer fits a lot of questions you have. So I just love sharing it with people.
Great, thank you. And there was a comment in the chat about the O cards. And by the way, these are used in group therapy. So I think they're great for opening to intuition because you don't have to practice knowing how to read something to use them. And yeah, they're great for going deep. And I think it's great to do with a group of friends, and it's great for group therapy, people that know each other. It's a way people might give themselves more permission to share things they don't ordinarily share, or give permission to share things with friends they don't share. And they generally know the backstory. So it's very rich. Yeah, who else? Does anyone else want to share? And I have O cards for sale, by the way, too.
Sure. Do you want to talk about runes a little bit?
Sorry. Either one of you is great. Who else
was talking? Whoever can go.
I think you get to go first.
For me, okay. Oh, I hate that when that happens. It's like 2 people getting in the grocery store at the same time in the line, and then you're just standing there, and it's, oh my goodness. Anyway, I was going to talk about runes a little bit, what they are. Is that good?
Let me spotlight okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the runes are from thousands of years ago, and they were actually used for divination and protection by ancient Germanic peoples before they were even used as a language. And then around it's not the turn of the century, the turn of the millennia, they started becoming used as a language. There's 24 of them, and each one represents a different letter. For instance, Isa is I, and that represents glacier, a really big block of ice. And the Norse believed that everything, the universe actually started from a block of ice. So that's and it also means someone who could be stubborn or have fixed beliefs that they can't change, or it could mean an obstacle. It could mean all these different things kind of around an iceberg. I love the runes because they are they're really helpful on your spiritual journey because they're very esoteric. The first 8 have to do with basic things that happen in physical reality. The second 8 has to do with things that happen outside of our control. And then the third has to do with things that are more spiritual in nature. So yeah, I love these guys. You can do so many different things. You can draw pictures with them. You can turn them into sigils. You can just read them, toss them, cast them on the airts, and then read them that way. But yeah, you can lose yourself in these things. And then you guys can ask me questions later if there are any. And that's it.
Thanks, great. Let me remove the spotlight, and then Jenna, go ahead.
I can say a little bit about the tarot. We know that it's at least 600 years old. It could be even older. And it's actually what the playing card deck is rooted in. So a playing card deck took the tarot and took out the major arcana and the female jack, which is called the page. and that makes 56 cards. So it's neat that we have this. It was a playing thing as well. It wasn't always used for divination. It was often used as a game. And but the major arcana kind of sets it into the hero's quest storyline. And it was used, but the pip cards, which are the non-major arcana, the minor arcana cards, those were used for, they would take out the major arcana and play with those, and those didn't have any designs on them until A.E. Waite, who was part of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, hired Pamela Coleman Smith, who was also an occultist, and was also a Jamaican born, and to design, she was a graphic designer, to design these cards based on his symbology that he directed. And this was also neat that it was a male female coming together to create the images that we know so commonly now from the Rider-Waite Smith deck that was published in 1909 based on the ancient decks, and that now we have hundreds of, maybe thousands of decks that have drawn out of that. And so Rider-Waite Smith deck created a minor arcana that really is decadent with images and symbology, and that has then become the tarot we know today. So just a small history.
That's great. Thank you. I'm putting the practitioner's information in the chat again. And then one thing I have not said yet, I put it in the chat. We're taking donations for the interpreter today. So we'll be paying them with some of what we earned from all of you asking questions. So please, we deeply appreciate you asking questions of the panel. That's what allows us to continue to do these events. And in particular, we are paying the interpreter today. So if you want to make a special donation for the interpreter, you're welcome to do that as well. You're welcome to add a little bit onto the payment that you make for asking a question. I'm going to put the link again in the chat for asking a question for paying. If you'd like to ask a question of the panel, please let us know. And then if you could pay on PayPal or Venmo, it's fine to, if you don't want to do those, you can also call me and we can, or text with me and we can do it on Square. All kinds of things work. So yeah, thanks so much for your support being here and then also for asking questions. Well, I'm going to take a look right now and see if anyone's in line. Oh, and it looks like we got a donation for the interpreter. That's great. Thank you so much. All right. And yeah, so no one's in line yet with questions that I see. I'm going to double check things. Great. And I know my assistant Geo is behind the scenes doing little bits and things here and there. I think I'm noticing things happening. So, or maybe I'm just appreciating things she's already done. All right, great. Does anyone use pendulums? Yeah, that's a great question. Does anyone here use a pendulum? I know my partner does. Yeah, anyone want to share a little about that, about using a pendulum?
I can tell you a little funny story. Yeah, when I was first learning to communicate with the nature divas, I heard a voice in the garden. And my background's in horticulture. I used to build exhibits for zoos, museums, and botanic gardens throughout the U.S. And so when I was in my garden, I was doing it in the style of horticulture that I had learned. And then this voice came across and said, "No, plant it like this." And so, I was led to some of the Paralandra books, and she uses the technique of a pendulum. And so with a pendulum, you can ask yes and no questions. But I got really frustrated because obviously she wrote a thick book, and she obviously was hearing more than just yes and no for the questions she was including in the book. And so I always liked, when I'm working with students, to get familiar with their higher self. I do use a pendulum technique, and pendulums can be made of anything. My first pendulum was actually made from a lead weight on a piece of jute. So you basically just ask your higher self to show you a direction of yes and a direction of no. And once you've established that, then you can go ahead and you can use pendulums for really neat things. I often have my students look at the map of the world and use a pendulum over the map of the world to find out where their energy matches and ask that person then to send, you know, a bridge of love from their heart to that place, because we're all here to anchor love. And so that's kind of how I use the pendulum. Thanks.
Great. It looks like Galactic Ashley has something to share. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Cindy just said with pendulums and divination tools in general. They're incredible if you're practicing any of your clairs or any of your senses, because what happens is, especially if you're using a letter board, you'll find out that just like what Cindy said, you're getting information and you're connecting, and then eventually it's like you'll transition away from the divination tool sometimes, and it's just a really, it's like a springboard or a jumping off point. And so I've played with literally almost every divination tool because they're just really fun. I really like making them too, and using all different kinds of things. I find that when you make something, or when you create something, you're including your energy into it, and in a way it infuses it and empowers you and the tool. And when we're being creative, we are being in divine alignment. So divination tools are very powerful and fun.
Great, and I'm starting to get some questions about how all this works in the chat. So the way these panels work is we have a number of practitioners here, and today we happen to have 8. So if you'd like to ask a question here, just keep in mind that this is being recorded and it's going to be put up on the web, so everything is public. If you ask a question, so it's $20 or it's $10 for BIPOC, you get an answer probably from all of us. So it's great value for just $20 or $10. You get answers from the 8 of us. And then if you, however, want to ask someone a question, do a reading, but you don't want to have it be public and on the web, you're welcome to sign up for a private session with one of our practitioners or several of our practitioners. That would be great too. That totally supports us to continue doing our work. So if you'd like to ask a question here, that's how it'll happen. You'll get answers from all of us, and everyone will get to learn from your question and from your answers. So you're welcome to pay for a question with PayPal or Venmo, or some of you have paid by card on Square, and I have your info. Yeah, it's great. People are making, yeah. So Galactic Ashley is bringing cards here that she just made. Lots of different people making cards, and someone's working on making cards. Yeah, making chakra rune cards, right, while we're here. This is great. So let's see, a couple people are possibly interested in asking a question. Does anyone definitely want to ask a question? Or if you want to get in touch with a particular practitioner, you might be able to scroll up in the chat and find it again. Or if you're having trouble figuring out who that practitioner is, if you want to write to them privately or meet with them privately, I can help figure out who it was. Yeah. Let's see, I'm just going to go. So if you know you want to ask a question, you could let us know in the chat and we could get started. And I appreciate someone gave us a donation for the interpreter. Deeply appreciate that. But yeah, if you know that you want to, no, if you know that you want to ask a question, we can always get started and we can have you pay afterwards to get things moving. That'll work too. Great. I know we had a couple maybes. Yeah. And if anyone has a general question about divination while we're waiting, that's great. Oh yeah, someone wants to do Venmo. Yeah, that's great. Let me see, it should be in here. Yeah, I think it's just at loreleismile.com. I'll put the information in the chat right here again. And it looks like I'm getting people in line to ask questions. So let's see who's going to be first. Yeah, so my Venmo is just listed right right there at Lorelei Shamayo, should be it. And okay, great. We have a question and we have a donation. Thank you so much. So it looks like maybe Verna is going to be first. Oh, yeah, Verna is first. All right, great.
Oh, great. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Just before you start, let me just say a couple more things. You've done this a ton, so let me just, for everyone else. So as I mentioned, it is public and it's going to be on the web. And then when you ask a question, we may go deeper than you intend us to go, or we may talk about an area of your life that you don't want us sharing about here. If we do that, please let us know. We're here to honor you. Unmute and let us know. Wave your hands right in the chat, whatever it is to get our attention so that we honor you. And then also, while we're here tonight, if you could please let the attention stay up with the panel. We believe everyone's intuitive. So if something comes through for you, I recommend maybe that you write it down. And then if you want to, you can ask the person when they're all done receiving from us if they'd like to hear what came through for you. And please keep in mind that they might be full. They might not be ready for something right now. Please just do your best to not take that personally. Trust that it came through for you for a reason. Kind of along those lines, this is a great opportunity to practice opening to your intuition, because whatever comes through for you, you can see how well that aligns with what we share. You may even get something that doesn't come through for us that's so valid, but it's an opportunity to see if what comes through for you resonates with the other things, or is in alignment with the other things that come through for us. And then also, I encourage you to learn from everything that is shared, from the experience of being here together, from everything that's asked, and from everything that's answered. So thanks so much. All right, Verna, go ahead.
Okay, well, I have 4 different writing projects that I would like to get the first drafts of finished in the next year, but I'd like to get a head start on organizing, and I feel very distracted by everything but writing. So I was wondering whether there was anything, and I do meditate, but I don't know if my meditation isn't just getting to that level, or I'm not sure what's happening. So just cards, anything, I'll take all the input I can get.
Great. And do you want to say anything about what, just what type of writing you're wanting to do?
Well, I have a fanzine that I wrote about a musician that I really loved who passed away in '87, and so I've been I did one version of it, but I want to revise it and make it just edit it and get it better, in a better place. And then I have a poetry book I'd like to get done, and a memoir type of thing, and also a novel. And I'm really not sure where to start, and I'm not sure if that's too much. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to get it all done in 1 year, especially with everything that happened this past year. So, but my eyes are always bigger than my stomach when it comes to projects. So
That's great. And for those of us that don't know, so a fanzine is a fan magazine, or can you explain what is that?
it's kind of like I think it started as a science fiction. Originally, science fiction fans would put together little magazines, self-publish them, and put like science fiction stories. But then when I was younger, I did some punk fanzines, which were, of course, about punk music and different bands and stuff. And so they can be about a musician or an artist, or really anything, or just random collages put together. So
Great. Great,
yeah.
thank you. All right, we've got Amanda in line and then Jenna in line. So Amanda, let's see, let's get set up here for you. Okay, go ahead, Amanda.
I said I wasn't gonna draw. I'm such a liar. So I drew a picture. Okay. The main thing that I'm seeing here is going back and forth, zigzagging from the rune of Freya the rune of, which is Feiyu, which has to do with money, and it has to do with value. And zigzagging from that to Sawilo, which has to do with goal setting. And then zigzag back to the rune of health and vitality, zigzag back to the rune of protection, and zigzag back to the rune of drive and will. So I feel like almost like you're running around with it, like you're a chicken with the head cut off as far as this goes. Like you want to get everything done, and so you're having a hard time getting anything done. I see you're in the intuitive space, because I use the color that I use for the third eye from the trust rune all the way to legacy. So all these spiritual runes are, so I feel like you're doing a lot of spiritual work and healing really well. So you're putting time in as far as that goes. These are also mystical runes over here, and that's very balanced. So I feel like your meditation, I think you're doing a good job with your meditating. I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's the problem for why you're having a question today. I do think that I see some challenges here between the rune of Odin and the rune of joy. So this is would be my advice based on what I drew. Sometimes when we start projects in the past and we think that we should finish them just because it was the best idea we ever had and we have to get this done and it'd be so great. But sometimes when we start an idea, it's actually not supposed to be finished, but it's just supposed to be part of our process. So I'll use myself as an example. I probably have 100 million things that I haven't finished, but I don't feel bad about it, because I feel like every time you start a painting, it's like the process of making the painting that gets you to the next step. So I don't actually need to have that painting finished, because starting it got me to help me be in the right place for the next thing I'm doing. So I definitely think you should follow your bliss and not finish anything that you don't feel like finishing, because it's fine. You don't have to. Just pick whatever you think is the most fun and go with it. And I see something around relationship and the unknown. So I think also if you are in a space of communicating with people like your peers and friends and that kind of stuff, that will help you stay in a heart-centered place. And it'll help you just be like, you know what, I'm just going to do whatever project or even something new, and it's fine. And just pick one thing and then go ride that wave.
Thank you.
Sure.
Great. Thanks so much, Amanda. All right, we've got Jenna and then Kendara. Jenna?
So I'm using my transparent tarot deck, and I'm also a writer. So I was really loving your question, by the way. I was like, yes, someone got into this question. So you got I actually include from this deck a publishing card. So I took the publisher's card and I make that about writing. Sometimes it's about contracts, sometimes it's about journal. So the beautiful thing about divination, you can always include your own cards into it. And with it is that I have the Knight of Cups. You're writing from your heart. But part of the reason that the writing is getting befuddled or blocked up is because of the Six of Wands, which is this card of needing some sort of accolades, needing some sort of response, being concerned about the response of the community. And that's normal for us writers. By the way, there's a great book by Stephen Pressfield that's called The War of Art. You're nodding, you must have read it. So and he talks about this thing is that all of us writers, it's a lone sport, and then we start to get anxiety around how it's going to be received because it's our heart being put out there. How can you not concern yourself for the moment with how it's going to be received and just write from your heart to get it down on paper? Worry about that with the editor. The editor, you'll work with and pay for an editor who will help you work with how to make it be well received. Don't worry about that in the first draft. The first draft should be the shitty first draft, SFD. Get the SFD out for whichever ones matter. Now, on that note, there's one of these books that you need to let go of, and it's related to the Sun card. Wait, I'm getting the reflection of the screen. This may not be the best deck for this. Okay, so it's being related to the Sun card reversed, which is like it was an opportunity, like she was saying, like Amanda was saying, that doesn't really serve the current status that you're in. And with it is also the Three of Wands, that it was maybe an idea that just wasn't brought to full fruition and doesn't need to be, and might need some more planning before it's drawn forward. I'm also getting the sense of right timing with it, that maybe it's better to gestate on this one a little longer and plan it more and walk away from it with the Eight of Cups. Walk away. So one of these projects at least needs to be put aside for now. There's also a potential for you to feel kind of been there, done that about some project that you had a lot of dreams about. The Star card, you were feeling really upbeat about it, and now you're just feeling like it's been there, done that. That one is interesting because it comes with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can be someone who's very who's a writer, but it's someone who's also young and doesn't consider the bigger picture of how long it would take to write, what it would entail. So I'd say on this sort of case, you can also put that project aside for a moment and consider if that's what you really need to work on. So those are two projects that maybe can just go put aside. I'm writing 2 books right now, so totally understand the multi-project process. 2 more things here, and that is that one of these is that allowing the thing I think you might want to focus on right now is the one that's the Moon card, the one that goes into your shadow self, the one that might even relate to personal trauma in your childhood or something that's really personal story and that really touches your heart the most. And you might be not writing because it's so intimidating to access this shadow self. That can be scary, but you're already accessing it on a world level of the Nine of Swords. You're already thinking about it, churning on it. So why not serve yourself the opportunity to put it onto paper and let that be something that comes out? Maybe that's your poetry. The Moon card is more of a poetic field. And finally, and this is the overall advice, remember that this is your opportunity, the Fool card, to just be in a state of adventure. The Maternal card is flipped upside down. Don't feel like you have to be a mother to every project that you birth. You know, you're not its mommy. If it goes to the wind, it goes to the wind. And you're don't let this become wounding yourself by creating projects that you drop. Just which one feels the adventure in your heart and go for that one, and trust that those projects will find another voice. There's a beautiful story I'm going to end on by Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and she talks in the book Big Magic, which is a really fun book to read, about how she had a book idea and then she had circumstances in life, had to put it aside, came back to it years later and didn't have the flair for it, went out to a conference of writers and ran into a woman and met her and gave her a kiss on the cheek. And she believes that that kiss on the cheek transferred the book idea to her, because that writer called her like 6 months later and said, I have this great book idea I'm working on, and described her own book back to her. So trust that these ideas, we are channels. You are divinating when you're writing. You're channeling it. Let it be what it is. Let it, yeah. So a little bit long because I get excited about writing, but yeah, hit me up if you want a longer reading because I love talking writing.
Thanks, Jenna. All right, great. We've got Kendara in line next.
Hi, Verena. I got a bunch of things when you were talking. The first thing was you talked about the book about the musician, and there was a flatness in it, like, okay, that was then, and I feel like I need to do it, but it felt flat. And then when you spoke about poetry, your energy just shifted. And there was so many limitless things you could do with it. In terms of meditation, there's not a right way to do it, whatever just quiets your mind. And then I pulled some cards on you. And I am using the herbal deck. And the first one that I got was a 5 of Cups. Can you see it? Okay, so see how he's looking at what he's lost, but he doesn't realize there's a cup in front of him. Just what he really wants to do. Then I got the 2 of Swords in reverse, and when it's right side up, it means you've got a decision, but in reverse, it's saying, just let it go. The thing that's stressing you is how people are going to look at it. Do it because your heart tells you to do it, and you will be absolutely, you're so creative. But I get energy from mother stuff when you were growing up around age 12. You can't do this. You need to be things, and you don't. You do not need to do things a certain way. I'm breaking every rule by telling you what you need to do. This card means, it's called the scattered card because she's looking at everything and she doesn't know what she wants to do. Do what your heart tells you to do. But what I would suggest that you do really strongly is pick the project that's closest to your heart, that you can see the end at. Work on that for just work on that. And then when you're done, go to something else. And even color code it. Red for the thing you want to do right now, and maybe green for later on. The last thing I got for you was the Empress in reverse. Now, the Empress right side up is really creative. In reverse, it's still creative, but when a card's in reverse, a lot of times it means you're more influenced by what other people think than what your heart tells you to do. So, I would say do what you want to do. Like, again, you'll do well with all of them, but there was kind of a flatness with the poetry one. And not the poetry one, the music one, but the
Yeah.
poetry, it was just like, wow, limitless what you can do with it. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, great. So we're gonna have Anya share, and then Galactic Ashley, and then I think Thorn. Did you want to go sometime in here? Yeah, so Anya's next. And so Anya and Sharon, you get to coordinate this. So Thorn, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign for myself so that the interpreter can have a break. It's really hard on their arms to try and keep up with how fast we talk because we have limited ourselves with time. Okay, so what I'm getting a lot is what the other people and practitioners have already said is very strongly rooted in your own belief of what you have to do. It's almost like you have this list in your head of expectations that if they're not met immediately, you feel like you've failed somehow. Right now, with everything happening planetarily, and I'm sure that several of the other practitioners who are more involved with the planetary movements can explain it later, but we're in between eclipses right now. We have all of our planets in the solar system itself are starting to like line up. One of the things that this is really about is a lot of self-analysis and deciding if it's something we really want to keep because it's valued for us, or is it something that we're ready to let go? And I agree with the other, I think it was Amanda or maybe it was Kendra that said that one of those 3 books, it was a healing process, but you've healed from that. So you need to let that one go because it was the writing itself to help you heal. And when you hit that part of the story, that was where the healing had begun way back when in that story. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that you're on the right track, but I agree with other people. It will happen in the proper time. Right now is not the time for us to be pushing energy and trying to force it where we decide we want it to go. We have to let it move on its own. The more we focus on it, the less it actually works because you're staring at it. It's like, the old English saying, a watched pot never boils. It's because you're like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Part of letting go, I think, for yourself is letting go of those expectations of what you should be or have to be doing and maybe reframing that whole perception in a different way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, Galactic Ashley, your turn.
I will try not to repeat what was already said. But one thing I do want to mention is that when you were talking and saying that you had this list of things that you wanted to get done, I got that it's okay to take a pause and to do what I call active patience. Because what's happening right now, as far as the universe is concerned, is that we have like the Geminid um, meteors like that are peaking on Sunday, and this is a lot of energy. The aurora borealis, if we didn't have fog, we may have been able to see that, and that is caused by coronal mass ejection. So tons of solar energy is coming. 1212 can be considered a Stargate portal so that we can activate more DNA based on how you viewed 2020 and what sort of inner work that you're doing. We're being asked to spiral in deeper into our own shadow self and our quote unquote darkness so that we can do healing the closer we get to December 21st and the winter solstice. So these are all healing opportunities, and we're being asked to sort of go in before we decide to explode out. So the card that I pulled is, I don't know if we can see this or not, is this card. And so what I did get that the other practitioners got also is that one of them is for your healing, but that you're, because it has to do with, like, if we saw this as the archetype or the Hierophant, like I got a Hierophant, like old belief system from an old paradigm that would have to do with the parent, preacher, or the teacher. So this book that you've healed, that people were talking about being about your own wounds, once you allow that to happen, then you'll be able to have your light shine through, and you'll be able to look at it as somebody that is now thriving. So you'll shift from surviving to thriving, and then from that space you can decide if that is something that you want to bring out into the world, because it might help other people do what you've gone through. But as far as the projects are concerned, what was coming through the most is to join a group of writers and to be a little bit social online, and to because all three of them feel so energetically different. And this is what I do. Like, technically I'm working on 3 different card decks right now, and all 3 of them have completely different energies, and I sort of just go back and forth to each one depending on what energy is coming in, and then I give to that. So it's not linear, and I will get them all done, and they'll probably all sort of be done around the same time versus doing one and then finishing it, and then one and then finishing it. The dragon beings are always saying that the most efficient we can be is when we are bringing joy into the work that we are doing, and specifically to fall in love with the process. So, and then the way that you were motivated before the project has shifted. So allow yourself to find your re-motivation, because the energy that you will connect with that's motivating you is going to be completely different. And sometimes if one of those doesn't need to be done, we have to remember, and this is really hard for me because I have a whole history of ADHD that says I don't finish things and I'm never on time, is that we sometimes deciding and choosing that we are not going to finish is in essence closure. So find closure how you need to find closure when the time is right, but just not out of self-judgment. But I have a good feeling, and to be social and find like online social, like get with other writers, share, and have sort of fun accountability. You know, I see you drinking coffee and shop talk about writing, and make it fun, and then you'll just find so much energy to take inspirited action. So I'm actually excited for you, but I just think there's a period of rest right now for a lot of us, and you too. So thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thank you.
One more thing, Verna, are you in Denver? Where are
No,
you?
I'm in Everett, Washington.
Oh, you're not close. Well, there's a wonderful organization in Denver, but they have online classes. It's called the Writers Lighthouse. All kinds of incredible writing classes. So, and it's really fun. So just Writer's Lighthouse. I think you might find some stuff you like there. And everything's online right now. Like Ashley said, some writers groups might be positive.
Great. I'm not sure who was mentioning the numerology. Was that you or was that somebody else?
No, it was Cindy, was it? It wasn't me.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Did you have a question about numerology about this?
Well, I could say my birthday. It's
I think Cindy's nodding. Yes.
January 11th, 1966. Thank you, Kendara, too.
So if you'd like to hear a little bit about numerology, I'll step in. But first, I want to just reinforce, yes, what Anya was talking about, this letting go process is really, really important for you, as a process, okay? Just see the work already completed as perfect, okay? And to remember you're good enough, just as you are, okay? And I want to encourage you to please listen to your angels, the guidance that you hear, as you're working with your projects. Okay. Ask your writer angels to come forward to help you. Okay. Just say, what step do I need to take? Which project do I need to focus on right now, today? Because it's about staying in the moment. Okay. And like Galactic Ashley was talking about, you do need to take a little bit of rest time to kind of let go, because we are in this dynamic of planetary alignments, and everyone's feeling this kind of like this hurry up and then kind of wait, and so your intuition is right on. I want you just to know that your angels are clapping for you. So don't get discouraged. And actually there is money that's going to be coming towards you to help you with these projects. So you just see that as being part of the flow of the writing that's coming towards you, and the community that you're going to be serving by doing this writing, the greater community that you're part of, that you love. So looking at your numbers, when I add the 1 plus the 11, it comes to 3. So a 3 attitude is somebody who is very worldly. So it's great that you're tackling these projects to get yourself out into the world, because the world needs to know who you are. Okay, the world needs you. And then I was looking at your life path, and the life path looks like it's a 7. And a life path of 7 is somebody that always is asking one question: why am I here? What is my purpose? So you have this energy of knowing you want to be out in the world, but at the same time, you need to take personal time for the solitude, okay? And then balance your energies with nature, like be outside, bring nature around you. Put yourself up to a tree and just kind of breathe and ground yourself, because being grounded is going to allow you to bring the magic that's you out to the world. So, everything is in divine timing. So you're right there, you're doing the thing. I pulled one of the animal cards for you, and bear appeared as one of your totems. And bear is pretty significant in winter. At the time that and especially because you live in the Northwest, it's time of going inward, to really get solid on what you're doing and where you're going as as the winter progresses. It's a spiritual time. You know what I'm talking about. And so I look forward to the projects that you're bringing forward, and I know that it's going to be beautiful. The other thing is, when I add the attitude number, the 3, to the current year, 2020, it's also a 7. So you're in this real deep spiritual quest. So your writings are part of that quest. So onward, upward, and just be you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. All right, let's see. Does Thorn want to go next? Great.
Okay. Okay. I think it's for Verna. I believe this is for Verna. So there's a few cards that I pulled. And so my energy colors that won't help. So it's really connected with what the other practitioners have already mentioned. And so the first card is the Azure, protect yourself. So that's the energy of cleaning inside, of purifying inside. And so to permit yourself to build your energy, like to build an energy shield, like a filter out outside interferences that aren't going to help you. And so these are the things that you want to let go. And so I really like this card because I really enjoy this card because it has the sun and it has the ocean and it has the blue color. And the blue color is connected with your heart, your throat chakra, which is your expression, your creativity, your speaking, your signing, however way that you express yourself. And so it's good to, you want to go inward instead of outward. And there's a time of self-analyzation, dreaming, and figuring out the bigger picture. And so you want to protect yourself, not, for instance, somebody's trying to harm you or anything like that, not in that way, but protect yourself from, say, they're just like self-care, in a method of self-care. Okay, the other card I picked, it says Emerald, calm your mind, body, and soul. And so this green color, and so I love this green color, and it's also relating to water. And so there's water energy that will help you clear and cleanse. Hydrating yourself, maybe that's something that you need to do. And so, and also expressing yourself. So you might have tea, you need to, go outside and sit against a tree. Be near a river or a stream, something like that. And so maybe that will help with you determining your next path. And so you want to calm your mind and body and spirit. These things are all connected. Like a gestation period, use this time as a gestation period as you grow. And so our planetary energy is just all over the place right now. And so we're going to have a new moon, or as with the solar eclipse, we're having the eclipse is going to be, and it's going to be a lot of energy happening on Monday. And then we're going to be having winter solstice, and that's going to be another
conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, and that will also be happening, and that's going to lend in big energy that's going to flow all through everything and impact everyone. It's a really good time right now to use your imagination and your dream. What do you want to happen? What creative projects are you working on? Also, you do need to have a checklist, yeah, but don't push on that energy. Just let it be. Let it go. Let it just happen the way it's supposed to happen, and understand that it'll happen at the right time and in the right place. It's just really a great place to go so that you can calm down, breathe, meditate, practice yoga, maybe something soft and gentle that relates with your body and the physicality. Are you okay, Sharon?
Nope, that's great. Thank you. I'm pretty choppy. My screen's
Okay. There's other doors too that are going to permit a lot of these things to really pull into place and go exactly where they need to go. For example, right here with Violet, the purple is related to your intuition. And the intuition that you have is extraordinarily strong. And I do agree with the other practitioners that that feeling that you have, your energy, your intuition, your psychic abilities, your energy is very strong. And you are able to create that. And you need to just allow that to flow. And give yourself some time, maybe doing like some automatic creative writing, where you just throw out ideas and put them down on a piece of paper. Focus just, not on a writing project, but just focus on just freehanding any thought that pops into your mind, and you write it down on that piece of paper. And then that way you can go back and you can read it, and maybe that'll offer you some support in that idea or the creativity for that project that you need as it happens. And that also is able to give you a seed. And so I think that that will open up that energy that you're looking for so that you can flow more naturally with it. That organization and the way that you're doing it, as one of the other practitioners said, things happen they're not linear. Sometimes there's things that you have to go from side to side. It's not like you're going to go from point A to point B. You kind of have to zigzag through that. And so with a lot of that, as you do it, you're going to be led to the next place. And here is this card. And that one drawing itself, from a famous artist, and the name is Mary Nuit. And it said, life is like a bowl of cherries. Mary Engelbright, excuse me, life is like a bowl of cherries. And so, you have a lot of those things that you have permission for. Does that mean you have to do all of them? No, what it means is you can look at what topics you're on and see what agrees with you. Maybe something at another time when you're looking at it, maybe as you do, you're like, oh, maybe I'll try and see what that is. And then after doing it, you find you're not satisfied. So really, it's okay to experiment and try different things and see what those opportunities are that are handed to you that you can drop yourself into. See what you really prefer. See where that sweet spot is, and then maybe connecting to communities in various places that can also help you to add into what it is you're looking to change about yourself currently. Also thinking, about yourself and your environment, your friends, your community, the people who you have that really feel like you're connected with, and make sure that you continue to build those relationships. But then, you find community and stuff. Maybe you don't feel that that is so connective for you. And it's okay to allow that relationship to dissolve after time. Yes, you're going to grieve. Yes, it's sad. But with the time that you have, it kind of allows you to let go and let it be done on its own time. Okay, so that's kind of a synopsis, trying to keep track. But yeah, I feel that this time is very much about yourself, but you really do need to trust yourself and understand that you have the confidence that you can do this, and you can do this step by step, and you're in the right place where you need to be, and you just need to trust yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm not good at signing, but I think this is thank you, right? Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks everyone for holding this together. This is lovely. I know there are a lot of practitioners tonight, and we're taking a little bit, and I have a little bit I'll share too, and I'll be brief. I know we've got another question. Let me turn my computer a little bit and I'll hold up my board. So I got two sets of cards here. So here's the first set. So these are the Blueprint Essence cards. Yes.
Can you do you
Spotlight
spotlight?
yourself.
Yeah, right now it's spotlighted on Thorn. I can't
Oh,
see.
it's still spotlighted. Thank you. Hold on. Go find where. There we go. Thank you. Okay,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
great.
Okay.
So this is the first set of cards, and this is from my friend Christina. So these are the Blueprint Essence cards, and so let's see. So I just put them up in the order they came, and I'm just thinking about your year and all the things you've shared of your year, and I love that you were lovable, because that's been a theme that's come up, and connection, and people talked about connection with other writers and connection in the community. I know that you might have gone to the cafe in town, Cafe Zippy, but of course that's closed. I don't know if people are meeting outside when the weather's nice, but if the people from Cafe Zippy or other writing communities are connecting, I agree that might be nice, but not too many in the community, right? So I think you're sensitive energetically, so the amount that feels really good to you. And then you're totally being vulnerable in exploring writing and just all the different kinds of questions you're asking here. And your energy is so much stronger over the year as you come. And then stillness. So you said you're doing meditation. And I think part of what was meaningful for me in this too is that you don't feel like you should write. Don't write from shoulds. Write because you want to, because you feel the natural impulse, because you feel called to. And I agree with, like, don't have it be methodical. Go with wherever your energy is. Go wherever you feel motivated, or it may be that you feel motivated to go out and take a walk. Really following whatever's alive for you will keep you in the most creative space. Yeah, and then courage. So you totally have courage in so many ways. All that you've been through, and that you want to write all these things and sharing here. It's very exciting. And coherence. Yeah, so you being coherent with your own energy field and with the energies that are coming through you. So that's what showed up for me in those cards. And then the O cards here. This is where I put them. These are just the ones that came up. And oh gee, well, I don't know enough about your history, but I think some of what's happened has been around male energy and various people that were taking power plays. And then there's some ways that you had some struggles with feeling victim at times. And it seems like what you're doing is you're so honoring yourself and taking time off. And so now you're kind of doing a power play with the energies that are here and the energies that are coming through you. And you are funneling like the energies here to put your own mark in the world, and not being at the effect of, not being victim to the things that have happened. So that's what I have here. And maybe there's something left about some relationship with male energy in your life that is part of what's coming through in the writing, or part of what's here for you to play with and dance with in some new way, doing a power play with that too, maybe part of what's coming through. Do you want to say anything about these? Is there anything that
Well, when I saw the Father card, just like when I saw the Five of Cups earlier, it just was like it kind of just zinged my heart really. Like both those cards just were like, made me just, I don't know how to explain it. But I remember when I showed you a picture of my dad and you looked at his eyes, and when he came here and visited, and but yeah, but I do kind of feel like that's not about him so much as the overarching patriarchal energy that's been dominant in my life, my whole life, personally.
Yeah.
Different ways. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I keep turning it so that, like, you're now the one that's doing the power play, like not at the effect of, that you're doing what you want with the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add something really quickly? Because I forgot to say it, but when you had the father card come up, what I was actually getting is, because I know this is really small, but there's actually a male figure over here. And this was the part that was healing. I was actually getting a hit that if you ended up working with a publisher or a writer, that they will carry masculine energy. And so I feel like the reason why the pause is happening is to give you some more time to come to I don't want to say come to terms, but to sort of you know have the middle card that Lorelai just pulled up, and to be in the power position, so that when you enter this space, you won't be victimized. You'll be strong and empowered in the moment, and then you'll be attracting an appropriate male energy for you, and it's all part of the learning, and so it's still quite exciting. So I just wanted to say that part, because a lot of times we get to walk through these challenges, and the light on the tunnel, we get to experience a positive version of what we've been swimming upstream against, is what it feels like sometimes. And so I just think that's really cool.
Thank you.
Great. I know we want to also, let's see, I'm going to spotlight it. Well, did you want to say something, Berna? Because I know I want to spotlight Amanda's drawing too. I want to make sure that everything works for Thorn also. Okay, let me spotlight hers. So, okay, Amanda, go ahead.
I was really excited because the colors were just like the ones in Thorn's card. And then when I saw your card, Lorelai, then I got even more excited because look at the similarities. Can you, oh, too bad we can't have your card next to it. That'd be really fun. But it looks like pretty related, right? Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so funny. This is where like you have artisan and I don't. Are you talking about the colors and the images?
Oh, I'm like, it's the same exact thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't notice all that on the cards. It's great. So go ahead, share what you're seeing.
We're talking about this. Can you hold your card up again? Maybe I can remember it. I don't know. There's a circle of, you said the circle of courage, right? And so my circle of courage, I didn't know it was a circle of courage, you called it courage, is around the relationship rune. And I was talking about how it's important to get relationships with people because that'll make you feel better, right? And it'll make you feel more inspired. And then on next to your circle of courage was the purple colors, which is right here, which in mine had to do with intuition and the mystical and the mystic arising from chaos. And I just thought that was, I don't know, I like that. That was fun for me. So Berna, if you want me to send you like do you want me to email this to you?
Sure.
Okay, I'll mail it over. Anyway, that's like your picture that goes with the words people were saying.
Thank you. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. And I'm very full. And I also want to thank the person who had to wait after me. Just because I feel like I got a whole lot. So thank you.
Great, Verna. That's one of the benefits of getting us started and going first, is you get a lot of richness. So thank you so much for continuing to come back and be part of our community.
Thank you.
All right. And our next person in line is Lena. And Lena has a big message. Lena, did you want to unmute and share? Yeah, let's
Oh, hi. So my question is kind of a lot. So my husband and I have COVID, and my dad just passed away 2 weeks ago. And then my husband's family they all have it too. And then I just learned that the sister just went to the hospital just a little bit ago. So I'm really scared because we've had deaths from this. Sorry.
Okay. Is your dad out here too? Is he?
No, he's in East Coast.
So you just happen to all be going through this at the same time.
Yeah. And I just want to know if we're going to be struggling longer with serious effects, or are we going to come to an end with all this anytime soon?
And you're asking more we as my family, family? Or are you asking we more globally? What are you?
Oh, probably my husband and I.
Yeah. Saying, how long have you been sick?
Since Sunday.
And how's he doing?
He's not doing well. He just threw up. He has chills and fevers and stuff. And he has a weak heart. He has heart problems. So I'm just worried for him. And I've been trying to hold it together and take care of my family and me and him.
Just, are you set up where you know how you'll be able to connect with his doctors and have him go to the hospital if he needs to?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing with us and letting us be here with you. Okay, practitioners. Maybe all of us just connecting with our hearts and holding the space for healing energy for Lena and her family. Yeah, so Lena, it just might be a moment before people are ready to share. And people are appreciating you and your journey in the chat, appreciating your vulnerability and your strength. It looks like Anya's ready to go. You and Sharon navigate how you're going to do this.
Hi there, Sharon. I'm gonna go ahead and sign for myself, okay? And I can't see your response because you're further over. I can see Lena though. Lena, I think that one of the reasons that a lot of us are being very quiet is because our hearts are just going out to so many people right now who are in the same situation that you're in. It's also sometimes a little bit of a struggle, to be honest, with the message that you get. And unfortunately, the message that I'm getting is that there is going to be some struggle for you. This is teaching you a lesson, not like rudely, scolding you, teaching you a lesson, but it's something that you have to deal with and learn how to navigate through that white water rapids that you're experiencing right now. Does that make sense? What I do get from spirit guides is that you really, really need to pay attention to doctor's orders. If the doctor is saying, you need to stand up and walk around the house for a minimum of 15 minutes, you need to make sure that you're following it, because following those orders and those ideas are going to be really important for the body mechanics. But also you're going to need to have a practice that is either prayer, meditation, insert proper vocabulary word here, to help you feel more grounded so that you can feel more centered. Right now, you feel very, very shattered, and that's normal with how much fear is related to this entire topic, period. COVID is ravaging communities. It's ravaging families, and we also have to learn how to approach that loss in a way that we're not negating that you lost someone, but that we're supportive however we can be, but Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't do as much as we would like. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think that it's very, very important. I don't know if this is an ancestor talking right now, but I'm I'm seeing Mushu in my crystal ball from Mulan, so ancestral. And they're saying you have your ancestors, you need to take advantage of them. Talk with us, communicate with us, we can help you. Don't leave it all to Western medicine. Remember that there's another area of medicine too, and that's the energetic space of the machine that takes care of the soul, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. Yeah, I love what you shared. Thank you for being with, sharing things that aren't always so easy. All right, Jenna's next.
Hi. So, wow, first of all, this is really moving, and thank you for being so vulnerable, and I'm so sorry for your loss already. And I'm pulled cards a couple times 'cause it's such a hard subject. And what I'm seeing though is that you have immense community around you. I like the ancestors. I think that's a beautiful idea, but I'm also seeing that you have a lot of wisdom around you. Um, Not just the doctors, but also people who can help you through the heartache and the fear of this. You're going to find wisdom surprisingly in younger people around you who can share with you things that they have wisdom that goes way deep past their age. And you also have a woman in your life who's maybe an older person, but who is very much you just know she's honest and direct, and you know that she won't wiggle around. She's going to tell you things honestly. And she's not the one you go to for compassion. She's the one who you go to the right people for the right things. You go to her to work through the like, talk to me straight about how to handle this. And I think she's been through some hardships. You go to the people who can access their heart to talk about the heart. And I'm seeing you also connecting with people who just have a lot of vivacious life energy, and let them give to you. You need to be in a state of receiving. You also got the Hanged Man quite a few times, and that is a card of surrendering and accepting things as they come and being in a state of flow and receptivity. And so being receptive to the right people, being receptive to allowing people to give you their support and love is really important right now. So just loving yourself that way. And let me check and you have the Magician card, which is a card of doctors. And I agree that like letting the doctors speak to you. And, if you're concerned about his heart, then in particular, seeing a heart doctor and making a 3 of Wands a strong plan as to how you can manage this. And then you have the Hanged Man again. Like the Hanged Man came up as I was kind of rushing through cards. And so, yeah, just making sure that you are reaching out to the community around you and being receptive to what they offer and knowing who to go to for what things, going to the right people for what they can offer you. Not going to the person who's like a straight talker to a brutal point for your heart support. Going to them for direct information, going to the heart-based people for heart support. And oh my gosh, I'm going to pray for you, and I think everyone here tonight is just holding energy and holding space in their hearts for you, and I really hope that this too shall pass, and that to come out of this stronger for it for sure.
Thank you.
Hey, we've got Amanda and then Galactic Ashley in line. Let's see. So I'm going to pin Amanda's camera again. All right.
Okay.
Spotlight it.
My picture goes along really perfectly with what Jenna just said. And Anya too. Okay, that being said, I'll explain it. Here is, and I actually drew this one before the fair started, and usually I'll draw something before the fair starts and it'll be like, this is gonna be the hardest one of the day. That's always the message for me, right? So this is the first one I got as people were arriving. Okay. This is the community support, blue and the green around here. In the middle, there's green for love and support, and outside of it is blue, which means it has to do with speaking and receiving help from people and that kind of flow of energy. Inside of that would be, I see that as more like your energy that isn't really being grounded. It's kind of curling up on itself, but it's connecting to spirit above. So this could be you connecting to your ancestors and all the energy behind you, because everyone from everyone in your family line right now is strongly behind you, helping you with this situation. I also see here, if you can tell, but that is actually an ancient symbol. It's sacred geometry for, I'm pretty sure it's for transformation. And because there's red right here on the outside, it's showing me that the pain and the losses that you're experiencing and the heartache is connected to you and your transformation. So nobody likes learning lessons like this. But on the other side of it, you're going to be like extremely spiritually connected in a way that you weren't before. I mean, not that you weren't spiritually connected, but it's just going to make it like next level. Let's see. This is the stupid COVID at the bottom, which we hate. I don't like him. He's not, it's like, it's at the base of everything. I'm not quite sure what to say about it. I guess you can't really do anything about this because it's sitting like in like just here, and nothing is really being touched by it, except for it's obviously like connected energetically to everything. So that shows me that it's actually, you try not to focus on, like, definitely do what all the doctors say, like, so like do physical things that you're supposed to be doing, but try not to think about the actual virus as a thing. Like, don't think about that, but more think about the connecting with spirit for healing, and trying to stay in a position where you're getting the healing energy from your ancestors and from your community, and try to stay in the place of healing and like positivity in that kind of like energetic state, instead of like, you know, try not to look at that guy, because you can't, like, there's nothing we can do about it, right? So try not to think about it. Don't let it get in your head. Have your head be more this way. And then I see something here, there's some squiggles. I wonder if I can put words on this. I'm not sure. Let's see. I see a line from your spiritual connection with your ancestors, and it's squiggling all the way down through the heartache, through the lessons, connecting the community and your heart and it goes all the way to, this is the place between the world tree in Norse mythology, which is the energy that connects all different dimensions together. And then this is the rune that represents the unknown and fate and karma and that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess that, I'm not sure. I'm quite sure I'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'll be like, that's what that means. Right now, I'm not sure I have the words for it. So that being said.
So Amanda, is this kind of like saying I'm supposed to learn something from this? Like, it's just part of my transformation.
Yeah, it's saying that what you're going through now is like a leg on this transformation. It's like directly connected to it. It's like, I feel like everyone, like, a lot of times there's like a defining moment. There'll be like a defining moment in our lives when we like look back later and be like, that's the moment when all of a sudden everything was different. And I had grown to like a higher level that I didn't even know I was going to ever go to, you know? So for me, like, this is right now your moment of you're reaching the next level for your expansion.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. All right, we've got Galactic Ashley next. Okay, Galactic Ashley, go ahead.
Okay, so 2 cards actually flew out, but I'm gonna spend most of the time on the second one. So the first card that came up was this one, and yes, that looks like a water fountain and a whole thing of blood, but the whole point of this is that what I am getting is that there's ancestral lineage that is being purified. Right, so let's focus on that. And then this is a card that came up, and yes, I realize that this looks dark, but the first thing that I heard is that to separate, one, I'm sorry for the loss of your father, but to separate that from your husband and to give yourself permission to mourn, that as it, like, when you have time, right? Like right now I feel like everything is happening at once, and that's okay, but your father is not your husband. So because a part of me feels like that is being, the fear of that is being projected onto your husband, which any of us would do, so there's absolutely no judgment with that. That's completely normal. But it feels like what's happening is that and that's what this part is that your ancestral lineage is coming forward as part of the community. So there is something there that is like supporting you, because they're coming forward with gifts and remembrances, gifts that you have that are going to start coming up. And I don't feel like you have to worry about any of these lessons, because they're sort of naturally just unfolding and you're in it, and just be in it. That they're there to support you, both sides, like all of them, from your husband's side and your side, like everybody is there. And I kept getting the word Mandarin, and I don't know exactly what that means, but I understand that this is absolutely a cemetery, but it's not about the cemetery. It's about that there is actually life here. So behind here is a garbage dump, and this is how people in Guatemala City are feeding themselves, right? They all know like where the food is, they know where everything is. And so the point of that is, what I'm getting is that there's a ton of people that are around you, but part of what you're learning, and this is a good lesson for all of us, is to ask for help. You are allowed, you are worthy, you deserve to ask for help. And know that I am seeing that there's a community around you, but people are afraid to help, but they really want to help. And what they're afraid is they don't know how to help. So not only do you have to recognize and allow yourself to ask for help, but you also have to tell people how they can help you, right? Because not everybody is equipped to say, can I get you groceries? Because they don't know how to help, but their heart wants to help. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are present in your life that want to help you, and that you do not have to be the matriarch right now. I mean, you are the matriarch of your family, but there are people, upcoming matriarchs, right? That this is an opportunity for them to sort of step into that role. And remember that people feel empowered when you allow them to help. So almost not you, but in general, when we don't allow people to help, we could be doing a disservice, right? So there is opportunity for others to help you so that they can learn, you can learn to receive. And I think it was Jenna that said that. And that there is a complete rebirth that is happening. And I know the story behind this person, but he was basically deported, lost everything. He completely turned his life around. He has this family with this child, and like there's completely new life. And I feel like that is a possibility that is through all of this. And by a new life, I mean it's one of those things where you look in the mirror and you're like, that's freaking me, right? And you won't feel that right now, but later there is so much opportunity in this. And to focus on the good things when they are happening, and then absolutely what everybody else said about listen to your doctor, but also ancestors are there because you guys, there's like a soul contract, and you guys are really, you're purifying like ancestral lineage, like all at once. And it's a huge purification process. And so that's a lot. And so they recognize that and they are present to come through to help. But we have to ask both in the spirit world and the humans. And it's a lot. And I'm sorry, but I know people are there. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, wait, really quick, one last thing. Sorry, I just looked at my notes. Make sure that you separate yourself from the people that are projecting their version of COVID onto you, because you are experiencing COVID the way you are experiencing COVID. I don't like ignore everything. This is a way that we can express our freedom when we live freely from the influence of others. And this is a moment where you just block everything out and you're like, this is COVID for me. This is my reality in this moment. And nobody gets to project their crap about what they believe or don't believe about COVID onto you.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
All right, thanks, the two of you. And Lena, I want to make sure you saw the message from Amanda in the chat that if you'd like the image, she's happy to send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Who else wants to share?
I'll share a little bit. First of all, thank you for sharing. I know this is more than challenging. The message I receive is to just focus on the love. You can't do anything about the physical things going on right now, but this is a gift and an opportunity to allow the two of you to connect together. It will not solve it, but it will allow you to focus on that which is important. And by doing that, the other things will not seem as heavy, and you'll be given the strength to go through this together. One of the cards I pulled for you was the 10 of Swords in reverse, which means this is a period that, although it's hellacious for you, is going to allow you to come above it. It's going to allow you to grow. It's going to be a building and a strengthening for you. And then I got the Three of Swords in reverse. It's a very challenging, difficult period, but it's allowing the two of you to grow and strengthen. It's building compassion for you. It's pulling on you, things that you did not even know that you ever had. Then I got this card, the Tower card. It's the karmic card.
Can you hold the card up a little higher?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you see it okay? It's a karmic card.
Yeah, that's better, thanks.
It's allowing you to go through an opportunity, and I feel that this is going to be something that's going to bring you and your husband closer. It's going to give you strength and resources that you've got. And so then I did a couple I Ching cards on you, and I got number 64, which was before completion. And what it's saying, the first card I got for you was number 2. And what it was saying is slow back, step back. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Allow yourself to go with what comes up at the time. By doing that and just working with what feels right for you at the time, you'll be given the tools to go on to the next step. So I'm going to send you a lot of love and healing. I think this is a journey to bring you and your husband closer and to focus on the strength that the two of you have. So a lot of love to you. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you for the message.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Okay, who else wants to share? Thorn or Cindy? Thorn's ready? Go ahead, Thorn. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna spotlight Thorn. And who's going to speak for Thorn? Is it
Anya will do it. My screen is still.
Yes, I will be voicing for Thorn.
Anya will. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Of course. You need a break. You've been signing for a really long time. You need to put your hands down, girl. Just one moment. I need to check with the interpreter. I need to make sure everything's set up. Got it. Okay. Wonderful. We're all ready. Okay. We're all good. We're all good. Okay, wonderful. Okay, the first thing I want to say is wow. My heart really goes out to you with compassion and sympathy to your entire family with the impact of COVID. It just, wow, it's got to be a really tough experience. And it just really hurts my heart. I did choose a few cards for you. And your question is a very important question. It's very valid, totally valid. And, it's just with this experience, your fear, your concerns, your worries, all of them are valid. All of them are. So there has choices here. So here's what the cards that I pulled. The first one is this one, nurture yourself. The color of orange feels very warm. It's a warm orange. So it's very related to the second chakra. And, what does your body, what does your spirit, your heart, what does it all read right now? Your mind, even too, because they're all interconnected. So, how do you feed that intuition? How do you take care of that in the event with COVID and everything and the experiences you're going through? What does your body need? Just the body itself. It's very important to check in with yourself about that. Also, with that orange, it also reminds me of sunflowers. And sunflowers follow the sun. So it's that warmth, that light, that you can just go and just soak up that warmth. You have people in your community, people around you can offer you that warmth, that energy, that, clarification of what now is. And you can ask for that, even if, the person that you ask for isn't able to do that right now, or whatever it is. The important part is asking, do you mind holding space for me? Do you mind sending me energy? Whatever it is, whatever warmth you envision, then that's what you're asking them. And you need that inner warmth to build up inside of you. So then that way, you have that quality. And like the other practitioners say right now, you have chakras that are and parts of you that are shattered because of, this experience has broken part of you apart. And so it's going to be a slow building process to get that put back together, or putting yourself back together, so to speak, regrowing in a different way. Absolutely. One thing to think about is how orange is warm, the sunflower, just, feeling the sun and using that from the community. Who are those people that you have right now that you can access that? Can you give that to people and open up and ask for that in this raw space? So really consider that. The second card that I pulled, connection to mind, body, spirit, lavender. Again, the connection of mind, body, spirit, meditation, practicing, awareness, balance in and of itself. Listen to your doctor, follow your intuition. I mean, don't only trust in Western medicine. Look at some of that generational medicine from, Eastern medicine that maybe you can change your diet. Maybe you can drink a tea that can really add to what you're doing, so it can really build on that connection with the body, mind, and ground yourself. And so that way you have this huge impact on this experience is through your body and your husband and your your family as well. So I think that's more of medicinal wisdom from the East to use and more of a cultural and generational family information. I think finding balance and integrating Eastern and Western medicine right now is something that would work really well for you. Now, this one, it's been a long time since I've pulled this card. It's not about physical health right now. Your body is going through a huge regenerating, on the inside and building yourself up. It's going to be slow. You need to take your time, let the experience, of what you're dealing with as time goes on through all of this. And as you find that strength, you'll be beginning to realize that you're having healing of heart. You're going to be able to heal your spirit. You're going to be able to feed your spirit in ways before. Your husband will be the same way. He'll maybe be softer in some ways than he was before. You really have to, it's not just one perspective. Maybe it'll open you up to the point where you can look and see all those different perspectives. And I think that's something that you are learning right now on your journey. And so it's really interesting. It's also very important that you share these experiences with as many people as you can, especially being vulnerable and offering this information. So maybe another person, maybe they haven't said anything, but when you say something, they're like, oh, I'm not alone. And this will give you some support too. And then another card that I pulled was the lemon. Again, yellow, lemon. Lemon in and of itself is lemon. You can add that to your tea with honey. For comfort, lemon is also a very strong medicine, for healing of the body as well, for you, your husband, and your family, maybe. Even the smell of the citrus can help to cleanse a room, cleanse a table, we use it in our cleaning products all the time. So you might want to think about also maybe how can you relate that to that perspective and go back to that generational wisdom and guidance and ask them how you can do it too. Pay attention to what you're dreaming and what your intuition is telling you, because I think that this is vulnerable space for you to be able to give your dreams more possibility of you paying attention and listening to them so that you can learn through them. Allowing that to come through also is going to offer you some information that's going to clarify things, almost shine a light on things to help you. Right now, it's a very dark time. You're feeling very isolated. Don't let yourself become stuck in that fear, in that concern, in the worry. I mean, of course, they're valid emotions. I'm not saying that, but you have to be careful you don't become so grounded that you become stuck. And you need to recognize that importance, but at the same time, being able to step back and look at this and say, okay, oh, wait a minute, I'm seeing something I recognize here. I understand this is fear, but my belief is stronger than my fear. What have I learned from this? How can I apply what I have learned to change that into healing my body and what I need for that balance? And balance is really important. Okay, also with the lemon, again, the sun. I'm feeling a very strong connection to the sun, the warmth, the comfort. Also, it feels nurturing. There's an energy behind them. When the sun, when it hits the stars, you're able to draw that energy from them. And that's not going to, take you over, but it can provide you energy that will help. And then the last card, and that from the energy color card, is blue. It feels like you don't really have to activate anything, because I think you're already woke and activated. So I don't think you have to worry about the activation so much. You have intuition, you have psychic energy, magic, all of that has risen and you're already woke to that. But I think some of the things too is that you have to learn how to recalibrate yourself, so that when you step back, you can kind of look at yourself and see where you're going and what you're doing, and you can accept that healing energy. You can be able to accept that intuition. You can be able to accept the dreams that you're having, even the stuff that doesn't make sense now, maybe. But when you do that and you can actually think about that, and then also you got the ancestries that can also help you to make more sense of what other information you're getting, because you have the ancestral wisdom that can balance out both of them. Blue can really be a color. I mean, you think about it, you take a shower, you take a bath, you have flowers, tea, you have Epsom salt baths that you can use that can help with that, you know, but make sure that it doesn't dry the skin. Um, you have to make sure that you can take care of it. Think about also that the blue is like an ocean. Think about the animals that live in the ocean: whales, dolphins, seals. All of those different animals have different medical property that they can offer to you for help. So maybe they can provide something to you if you make a request. So, and then from the other card deck that I have pulled this as well. The world is not by itself. Your husband's not alone completely. Your family is not, you're all one big part of a united front, and that you have that, and your ancestors and the spiritual community of the ancestors and the other family members and community members are all coming together in unity. So what I'm wondering is how you can connect all of this into what is possible, comparing with the feeling of overwhelming night right now. And wait, stop. Calming yourself, breathing, and then saying to yourself, okay, why am I being overwhelmed at this moment? Recognize where your body is, where you're feeling that energy, whatever it is that you're feeling overwhelmed with. Take a look at that and say, okay, wait, stop. I need to breathe. I need to let that breathe, let that just be, and then ask your ancestors for help throughout this healing. And that's a lot that is what has already been happening. But you can't just ask once. You have to go and you have to ask again and again, because you have to feel that, and by doing it, it makes those changes occur so that it can help with the healing. And then one thing that I do want to share to wrap up is I do have a card up on my wall that reminds me every day, and a sign up on my wall, and it says, hold on, let me see what that message is. You are your ancestors' wildest dream. I want you to think about that. All of your ancestors, all of those red cords that connect us all together also connect to you. And so there's a creation in that. We're thinking all of the time of what we have to do and what we have to do, but here they've already done it, and they want to be able to give that to you so that it can match with what it is you're willing to receive from them. Remember, again, your body needs rest, and it's okay to have to deal with this. Totally understandable. But remember not to push. And again, listen to the doctors, also listen to your ancestors, and and as well as their ancestral knowledge of medical things. So thank you so much. Blessings to you, fairy dust and sparkles, and feel free to contact probably most any of us in the community for support. And really, we are here for you. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. Yeah, lovely. All right, let's see. Who has not shared? Am I the only one that has not shared, or is there someone else?
I haven't shared yet.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead first?
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
I just want to say that Thorn really did an amazing job here to reveal to you what is really going on. And Lena, okay, so as a psychic medium, I'm going to kind of reveal a little bit about your past lives, okay? So you agreed to come into this time, to step forward as the shaman woman that you are. Behind you are all your ancestors, and you've agreed to help them clear this out of the ancestry line. When you are working, I want you to know that the nature kingdom is also working with you. The first mineral that stepped up to want to help you and your family is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is an energy that is for protection. And you can always know that you're safe and you're sound with calling forth the energy of black tourmaline. Okay. I want you to know that it's important that you stretch your body, okay, and to stay positive. Please step forward into your power as the healer that you truly are. I need you to exercise, please. Whatever makes you feel good is going to be perfect. And set yourself as an example for others to heal. Your story will be told 1,000 different ways to 1,000 different people, and it'll be carried in everyone's heart that hears it. Okay, I know that you're in the middle of the journey right now, but you will be so amazed as what's going to happen. You are definitely going to be healed. The healing is already improving your health right now as I speak to you. You know it in your heart. You aren't the victim. You are the warrioress. And I want you to always listen to the doctors, but I want you to also, if you need a second opinion, ask for a second opinion. You don't have to be stuck anywhere. You know the truth of what really is, okay? You carry a lot of intuition, okay? And at first I thought, oh my God, you may become a nurse after this. But then I realized you are always and have always been the healer of your family. So you're doing it for generations and generations on a DNA level for all of your ancestors. And any of the words that you share in your stories, like you've shared them with us and touches everyone who hears your story. So speak, know the truth that you're healing all of us with your journey. And I want to thank you and to let you know that I'm grateful to you for the journey that you've taken here on earth, okay? And I send you great love. Call on Archangel Raphael and the legions of healers. He's one of the main archangels that brings the legions, and just ask for help. And remember, okay, that you are being helped the moment you ask. And I can see clairvoyantly behind you are thousands and thousands of souls that you're helping right now through this journey that you're taking. So just know that you have a healing heart. And I just want to thank you again, sending you love and blessings.
Thank you for the message.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's see. Are you doing okay with doing one more? Are you feeling okay, Lena, with having me share too?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. And so practitioners, it might be great if you come in and share something after mine too, the cards that came up. Okay. So the first cards, let's see, maybe I'll pin mine so it comes through on mine, and anyone that wants to can pin it. So the first cards that came up, so peace. So it just seems like really resting and caring for yourself right now is so important, and nourishment. Right? A pause, that's pause, sorry, but really resting and nourishing, right, yourself, and encouraging him to do that too. And community, so other people have referred to not thinking that you have to do this on your own, relying on community. But I think it's also nourishing yourself from community, not taking in everything that the community offers or gives you, only taking the things that are nourishing, only take the things in that are supportive. And courage. So you clearly, right, you have a lot of courage right now, wandering in mystery and not knowing what's here. And then the most important card for me is that you are enough, regardless of what's happening. It's so important for you that you know that you are enough. Right? And then the cards are the cards. So the cards that came out, you know, and I'm open to what else is here too. The cards, the other cards look fairly grim, and I don't know that it means exactly what they mean. So I'm just going to show you. So what I'm interpreting here is that you and so many others are feeling so weary from all those that we are burying. And it's so important that you don't make yourself more weary worrying about who else you might bury. It's really important for your own health that you don't worry about that. Right? Weary and worry. And then it's possible that he might need to go to the hospital, and it might feel like cutting off a part of you that you have to separate from him during this journey. Right? And I know you might be feeling this now that your father has passed, where a part of you is gone. Right? And so while your father's not here, or this could be even your father and his travels being alone for a time, if your husband is in the hospital, it may feel like you're alone and grieving being alone, and just knowing that it's not necessarily that you're permanently alone and that he leaves us, but that during this time of healing, that this may be part of what's here. And again, I just go back to the cards that are at the top. Pausing, nourishing, allowing community to support you, only allowing them to support you, knowing your courage, and you so have to know that you're enough. So that's what I'm seeing in these cards.
Thank you, Lorelai.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and Anya has something else to share. Go ahead, practitioners. Anyone else that wants to share?
Yes, as I was finishing listening to all of the other practitioners' wonderful readings of the energy, I got this thing that popped into my head, and I heard it clear as day, and it said, she needs to watch the movie The Secret. It's going to help her to understand things a little bit more. It's going to open up something for her. So if you've already watched that movie, then awesome. Work on that basic idea. And I know that there's a lot of people who say that it's limiting, but understand that you're starting a foundation of a new practice, if that makes sense at all. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to watch this and follow it rule by rule, tick by tick. I'm going to do. No, take what you like, leave what you don't like, but building that practice by using your intuition and that ancestral knowledge that you are so, from not only my own perspective, but also from the other practitioners' perspective that you already have going for you, if that makes sense. Okay. So thank you.
It does. Thank you.
And I just want to add just one last thing. Laughter is the best medicine. Yeah.
And I'm going to add something also. Don't blame yourself in any way, shape, or form, because everybody's got their own journey. And we want you to be gentle with yourself.
And then maybe I'll just share I'll say just some of the things that are coming through me that not necessarily Lena, you're so energetically sensitive. Do you do Reiki? Do you know yourself? So you probably are someone that does Reiki. You're very energetically sensitive and you're very loving. And your hands on your husband. So are you, since you and your husband both have it, you're staying physically connected with him right now, right? No, you're staying apart. So this would interestingly, so you're able to send loving energy. And so you sending loving energy to him, I believe that he will feel it and experience it. So I encourage you to do that.
That's good to know. Thank you.
And I'm going to add something too, if I may. Even though it may not seem like a lot, let him return the favor. He's going to try to do things. And when he does, let him. It's his way of showing love. Even if it's the littlest thing, it will heal so much between the two of you. It really will. Just allow.
And Amanda had something too. Amanda, did you want me to pin your?
You know, you don't have to pin me. I just had this feeling that sometimes people pass at certain times because they want to be with you. So your dad may have passed when he did so that he could be with you now. Like more. If that makes sense. So maybe but just tap into your mediumship and connecting with your dad. Because I think that that's what he was trying to do. So he could be with you to support you now.
Okay, just while we're waiting to see if practitioners have anything else that they want to share, I put links in the chat. If you could fill out the feedback form before you leave today, that would be great. If you want to leave an additional tip for the interpreters, and I'm going to put information on all the practitioners in here too. So just practitioners, please go ahead if there's more that you want to share.
I just want to add one more thing. Someone came through very, very strongly and said to tell you it's going to be okay. And they really want you to know that. And it was so strong and so clear. So it's going to be okay.
Thank you, everyone, for the support.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and allowing us to support you in this so much. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yes, I'm just touching my own heart and sending loving energy to you, to everyone in your family, to everyone out here who's experiencing this and fear of this right now. Right, I got one more thing to put in the chat and then. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here, holding space with us tonight. Really big share. Glad we had so many practitioners holding the energy. Thank you so much, Sharon, for interpreting, and Anya for jumping in and doing some interpreting too. Yeah, just everyone being here together. And we've got many more events coming up too. I'll put some of them in the chat. And again, I'll just put the feedback form at the bottom too. If you want to share a tip for Sharon, we deeply appreciate that. And if you can fill out the feedback form. Yeah. And probably a number of practitioners, right, sending, right, I see one of them sending healing energy and just sending, yeah, what's needed right now. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. And if there's some loving words that you want to share in the chat, Lena may not read them, but energetically that will go to Lena. Feel free if you want to share them, you can share them with everyone. That's fine. Just encourage you to be brief. If you want to, feel free to do that. Yeah, we'll sit here all together for another few minutes. And as everyone's ready, go ahead. Feel free, you can let yourself flow from the space. Our next fair is coming up, or next Thursday night, Friday morning, and then on Saturday all together. Saturday the 19th. MeWeFairs.com. Thank you everyone for your care. Love to you, Lena. Healing to you, Lena. Okay, I'm going to start moving people out to the waiting room. Thank you so much for being here.